All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to take a tour through the really fascinating real-world applications of machine learning. And our guide for this is the technical book, How Machine Learning is Innovating Today's World. Okay, so let's crack open this source material and see what it really tells us about where ML is at today. We're not going to mess around with the theory. We're going straight to the core applications that are actually shaping industries right now. So you hear it constantly, right? Machine learning is everywhere. It's this big buzzword. But what does that actually mean in practice? What does it do? Well, that's what we're here for. We're going to move past all the hype and show you some real concrete examples of where this tech is making a massive difference. First up, let's start with something we can all relate to: language. I mean, how in the world do you teach a machine to understand what we say and write? That's a huge challenge. And it brings us into the incredible world of natural language processing, or NLP for short.
So how does a machine even start to read a sentence? Well, it all begins with this thing called tokenization, and it's actually pretty intuitive. Think about it. Before you can understand a paragraph, you have to see the individual words, right? Tokenization is basically that, but for a machine. It takes a big chunk of text and breaks it down into these smaller, bite-sized pieces, we call them tokens, that it can actually start to analyze.
Okay, but here's where it gets really cool. You can actually see the progress. You can measure it. The source material lays out these different models, and you can see this clear evolution. The early models, they might just look at words one by one, but then you get to these more advanced ones, like BERT, and they're way more sophisticated. They start to get the context. They understand how words relate to each other in a sentence, and that's the game changer. That's why you see their accuracy just shoot up, getting all the way to 98%. It's a huge leap. All right, so that's language. But let's keep going, because the impact of machine learning goes way, way beyond just understanding text. It's getting out into the physical world, and honestly, in some ways, you might never expect. I mean, take farming. You might not think high-tech right away, but get this. Farmers are using machine learning to look at everything: soil data, weather patterns, what worked last year, and figure out the perfect fertilizer mix to get the most cotton possible out of their fields. That's incredible. And it's not just for crops either. We're still on the farm here. ML algorithms can now analyze data from livestock, looking at their behavior, their physical symptoms, and they can spot and classify diseases way earlier and more accurately than before. This means faster treatment and ultimately healthier animals. Okay, let's switch gears completely, from farms to energy. That same predictive power is being used to optimize battery management systems. And this is a huge deal for, well, all of us. It means the battery in your phone, in your laptop, could last longer. And for electric cars, it can mean better range and a healthier battery over its lifetime, all because an algorithm is smartly managing how it charges and discharges. And all of this really ties back to this bigger idea of precision farming. It's all about using data and ML to make smarter decisions about everything, from knowing exactly when and where to water to planning out the most efficient way to harvest the crops. It's a total game changer. So up to this point, we've been talking about how ML analyzes the world we already have, but now we're heading into the next frontier. And this is where things get really wild. It's about creating things that have never existed before. We're shifting from just analyzing data to actually generating it. The preface of the book we're looking at puts it perfectly. It talks about the remarkable ways that machine learning is transforming various fields and industries. And that transformation, it's not just about being better at analyzing spreadsheets. No, this is about unlocking brand new creative powers. And here's the thing you have to get. This isn't some far-off futuristic idea anymore. Generative AI is here. Tools like GPT-3 and DALL-E, you've probably heard of them, they're already out in the wild, powering real applications that you can use right now. We're talking about copywriting tools like Copy.ai, interactive story games like AI Dungeon. It's even being used to generate AI avatars for news videos. It's happening now. So let's just take a step back for a second. Think about what we've just covered. We went from teaching machines our language to making farms more efficient, all the way to generating brand new creative content. The trend is just undeniable, isn't it? Machine learning isn't some specialized tool for one industry. It's becoming this fundamental engine for innovation, and it's speeding up in just about every field you can think of. And all of this leaves us with one last really important question to think about. What the source material shows us is that ML is becoming this incredibly powerful do-anything kind of tool. It can tackle almost any problem we throw at it. So the question really isn't, can we solve this anymore? The question is, should we? As this technology just keeps accelerating, maybe the most important decision we have to make is figuring out which problems are actually worth solving.